Psalm 96:6 says, "Honor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary." When I think of Mike and Joanne, I think of those two words, strength and beauty. Right off the bat, you know that strength is associated with Mike. He's a strong man, a good leader. You know where he stands. He's very direct. And then you know that beauty captures the essence of Joanne. She's a woman that has great grace. She has poise. She has class.
Joe, when I think of you, the word serenity always comes to mind. You always seem so serene and so at peace. And I don't think I've ever seen you lose your temper or get angry or get ruffled about anything, even in situations where I thought maybe you should be ruffled. You just laugh and it just rolls off your back and you're just so serene.
Jo is truly an amazing woman and a dear friend. First of all, that she would marry Mike was pretty much of a miracle. But she has such a quiet presence about her, and she is so tender-hearted. And I've always appreciated that about her. Even when we're sitting together in their home or ours having dinner, there is just this quiet presence.
And I think the two of you together make a perfect couple.
Mike and I met when I was working for a computer software company near Tyson's Corner, and he was their printer. My boss sent me over to Mike's office to review a proof. Well, when I walked in, here was this disheveled man with long, dirty hair, a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, sitting behind this cluttered desk. I was not at all impressed, but as time went by and we worked together, we found that we could work together very well, and I realized he was a kind and caring person. As time went by, I noticed that his hair did get cut and washed, the cigars disappeared, and he even lost some weight. I started thinking maybe going out for lunch with him wouldn't be so bad after all.
Little did I know that that lunch would be a down payment on a 34-year relationship.
Mike and I were married in Reston in 1979, and because of our previous marriage experiences, we were determined that this marriage would work.
In 1999, when I was in your home, you graciously took me to that crow's nest. I don't know what you technically call it, but it was a wonderful place to visit, a great view. And I opened up my heart about the need in our church for missions. I told you I wanted to have a face to our missionaries. I said I didn't want to just hear about mission trips. I wanted our church to go on mission trips. And I wanted God to raise up missionaries from our church. Mike, you listened. God had worked in your life in the past through missions.
When I was asked to visit missionaries in Colombia and Venezuela in 1987, I did everything I could to gracefully keep from going.
Mike kept saying, there must be some way I can get out of this. Why me, he kept saying. I suggested that the Lord might be calling him to do this, and not to go would be disobedient.
I told the Lord that I would go, but I was turning everything over to Him. As you might gather, it was a journey that changed my life.
You took that vision and you ran with it. And over the next 13 years, I see a mission ministry in our church that has gone beyond my wildest dreams.
Mike, what can I say? I've sung this song to you 1,000 times. We'll follow the old man wherever he wants to go. I've gone with you all over the world. I think I've proved that I'll go with you anywhere you want to go. You're a great leader, and some of the mission trips I've been on with you have been some of the most, I don't know, mind-blowing, I guess is a good word.
And not only did you develop a mission ministry, you actually went on it and served. First 2 mission trips I went on to Senegal, Africa, were with Mike Healy being the leader of our mission trip. And you were a great leader. I know I may have gotten on your nerves sometimes when I showed up late to things, but we made a great team. And anytime you're leading a mission team and I'm able to go, I'd love to go along and serve with you.
And although I've been interested in missions and all the trips Mike led and went on, I never really felt called to go myself until this year. The Lord said it was my time to go to China. And I'm excited to say I really enjoyed it, and it far exceeded my expectations.
We didn't plan for this trip to mark the end of my missions career here at PBC. But just as he called me to serve, I believe he was calling me to step down and give others the opportunity to lead the ministry. He was saying, in effect, it's time to go work on your bucket list.
This has been 13 years in the coming, and it's been an incredible 13 years. I've had the privilege of working with you for the past 5 years, and I'll just never forget the day that my family and I joined the church. We filled out the little questionnaire and I put missions. I was interested in it. The next week I'm having lunch with you and I'm a member of the missions team. And the rest is history. The World's Mission Team, you have created the foundation for that will last for generations to come. And PBC is going to be going out there to all the corners of the earth, to all the people groups. And truly I believe it's because of the foundation that you laid here with WMT. And it's been such a pleasure serving with you, and I know that behind every great man there's a greater woman, and Joe has certainly fulfilled that role perfectly. And I just pray that you enjoy your well-deserved rest. I hope you don't completely disappear. I hope that you can continue to give some advice and lead us in some direction as we go forward. And I just wish all the best for you and Joe.
Joanne, you've been a tremendous servant as well, teaching our children in Sunday school, being the craft lady for 10 years, joining in our women's Bible studies, and then the behind-the-scenes ministry, such as serving in our church office, answering the phone so that we can have a prayer time as a staff. Not many people would do that willingly, but you were faithful.
Joanne has been a vital part of our missions group, known as the Lottie Moon Circle, using the special talents, decorating tables when we had our luncheons beautifully. And she is currently now our treasurer.
You've been happy not only to share your time, but your home. You were the ones who opened your home for the first home groups that we had in this church. And your home group lasted for many, many years because you were willing to be hospitable.
Well, I used to attend Bible study in Mike and Joe's house. And I was a bachelor during a portion of that time, and he destroyed my whole bachelorhood. 26 years ago, he introduced me to Pat, and into my life came not only Pat, but 2 stepsons, 2 cats, and a dog. And man, that changed my life.
I first met Joanne Healy about 10 years ago at Purcellville Baptist Church when I was invited to join a small groups of mostly older people, which is what I wanted to be in, a group of older people, and this was definitely an older group. My first impression of Joanne was her smile and her kindness. Her kindness toward me, being new in that group, was very encouraging to me, and I felt very comfortable being in her home. I quickly learned that Joanne definitely has the gift of hospitality. So when someone comes to her home, we were, comfortable taking off our shoes, propping our feet up, and just being at home. I found Mike to be a very devout man of God, very serious about his walk with the Lord, and little tolerance for those of us who weren't as serious, who weren't there on time or didn't attend every week. Mike had little patience for us with that. We knew that, so we tried to be there on time, and we tried to be there every week.
in our Bible study, when you showed up late, he would be so very gruff, and he would say, "You're late." And I would say, "I'm sorry." And so then what would happen in our Bible study, he decided to, let's have dessert first. Maybe people will show up on time. Invariably, I came in late and I missed dessert, and the first thing he would say, and I came through the door, "You missed dessert." I said, "Mike, I didn't come for the dessert. I just wanted a hug."
And not just to home groups. Whenever we have mission banquets and the missionaries that we support come to this church, you always have a get-together at your house. You are very hospitable. But not only did you open your home, you opened your lives. You were pleased to share your life with us. You're transparent. Mike, I've enjoyed meeting with you every month, not just talking about world missions, but talking about life in general.
I first began to think about the body being the temple of the Holy Spirit, and how my smoking and drinking was destroying that temple. We were in Denmark, about to leave the hotel, and I placed the last pack of cigarettes I had on the table and walked out of the room. It was the first step toward following Jesus.
But the Lord had some more cleaning up to do in our lives. One sermon from the pulpit was on the stumbling blocks to the Christian life. Well, we knew we had a big one. We had enjoyed a lot of drinking, and it was becoming increasingly important in our life. So we decided it was time to stop. Well, Mike could stop, but I couldn't. I had become an alcoholic. I cried out to the Lord. I was broken. I asked for His help. This was a turning point in my spiritual life. The Lord led me to Father Martin's Ashley for a 30-day program, and after that there were many years of AA. I can joyfully say now that I have had 26 years in recovery with the Lord's help.
You came here to serve. You came here to share. And probably most important to me is you came here to stay. You know, throughout the church, we can make mistakes. We can have our high points and low points. But I'm always encouraged by the people that stay. The Bible says this about Jesus: having loved His own, He loved them to the very end. I feel loved by both of you. Now, there have been times that my sermons have been great, and there have probably been times that they've been a little boring. Certainly, Mike, you would say a little bit too long. I'm sure that you've sat back there and at times you've winced at some of the things that I've said or at some of the things that I've done. But you're still here. When you came here more than 13 years ago, you came here to stay. This is a fact about many senior pastors. They don't trust a whole lot of people. And maybe I'm in good company. Jesus was there. The Bible says He didn't entrust Himself to any man, for He knew what was in man. But we've been burned over the years, and so it's hard to give our trust. If there's one couple in this church that I trust, Mike and Joanne, it's you. You've been faithful. You've been wonderful oaks of righteousness. You've been great servants. You've been great friends. Strength and beauty is in God's sanctuary because of you. And may goodness and mercy follow you all the days of your life.
The thought we wish to leave you with is this: the first step is believing. The next step is following and serving. Serving the Lord may be the poorest paid job, but the rewards are the greatest.